Welcome to Wanderlust and Wishes, the podcast where we explore the world one destination at a time.
I'm Julie.
And I'm Krystle.
As travel agents with fantastical vacations, we are here to share our passion for travel and help you turn your wanderlust into reality.
From hidden gems to bucket list adventures, join us as we dive into the sights, sounds, and stories of our favorite destinations.
So grab your passport, pack your bags, and let's embark on this journey together. Welcome to episode 25 of Wanderlust and Wishes. Today, we are going to cover the Disneyland resort hotels and the Good Neighbor hotels that are around Disneyland Resort. It's a little different than the way that Walt Disney World is set up. So we wanted to go through that since we just finished going through the resorts at Walt Disney World. We wanted to cover we didn't want to leave out Disneyland because it's special.
It's my favorite. I'm even wearing my Disneyland shirt today in honor.
I have on my Daisy Duck shirt or sweatshirt. It's my new favorite.
Oh,
it's purple and it has Daisy on it. So
perfect.
First, though, there's a couple of things that I saw that were posted about the D23 session that's going on in Brazil right now. A lot of the news that's being announced is duplicates of what we already know that's coming. But there were a couple of little nuggets that I thought was fun. They did reveal the characters that will inspire the upcoming Villains Land and Magic Kingdom. And that includes the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland, Jafar from Aladdin, the Evil Queen, and her old hag alter ego, which is super fun, from Snow White, Lady Tremaine from Cinderella, Yzma from The Emperor's New Groove, Cruella de Vil from 101 Dalmatians, Captain Hook from Peter Pan, Maleficent, of course, in human and in dragon form from Sleeping Beauty, Gaston from Beauty and the Beast, Mother Gothel from Tangled, Ursula from The Little Mermaid, Hades, whoop whoop, from Hercules, and then Chernabog from Fantasia.
Some of these really surprised me, but having Yzma on there from Emperor's New Groove, maybe they will have something like we talked about. And that's exciting because there's no Emperor's New Groove anywhere.
I love that movie. It's the best. It's too bad they don't have Kronk too.
They may.
Because that would be amazing.
Lady Tremaine, when I just saw her at Disneyland, was hilarious. I'm sure they'll have to have the stepsisters with her.
Yeah, probably.
And Hades was actually one of our favorite villains that we met at Oogie Boogie. He was on it. It was amazing. Yeah. So this is exciting.
He's my favorite number 2. I'm so excited to have him. Do you want to talk about the next one?
Apparently they released footage of the cars from Cars Land. So maybe we will share a little snippet in our stories on Instagram so you can see this. But I'm so excited for this land. I can't even stand it.
It's off-roading kind of compared to the one they do in Radiator Springs. Because that one's on an actual highway, right? Am I remembering that correctly? Yeah.
It makes me think a lot about, we talked about it in our D23 episode, the kind of it's a play on episode, or what is it? The second movie when he goes and races all over, and there's like an off-roading mountainous one.
Oh yeah. I haven't.
So they talk about it more in the books. You don't see as much about it. So, but it'd be like a easy storyline to develop for them, like a backstory.
And they are saying it's going to be a trackless all-terrain ride system. So if that gives anybody any understanding of what that means. I don't know what that means.
Oh, I have so many questions.
I know.
But they did say that 2025 stuff is moving. So
yes, that the shovels are in and the dirt is flying.
Next bit of news, Royal Caribbean has opened up Alaska for summer of 2026. We're just chatting before we started the episode that if you want the best deal on a cruise. Book it now for 2026. We kind of in line with that, we've been seeing a lot of Black Friday ongoing promotions for just about every single brand we work with.
Yeah.
So if you're looking to get away to travel, let's do it. Even if it's 2 years out, let's put a deposit down. Most deposits are refundable, but it's locking that price now because it's only going to go up.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, we just talked about this on our last episode that cruising specifically, like the sooner you book, the better. And for some reason, if there is a deal that comes out that does reduce the price, then we're going to be looking out for those and we'll apply those if it comes out. But for the most part, when you book early, none of those deals are going to beat what you originally booked.
Okay, let's talk Disneyland.
First is the Disneyland Hotel, the OG. It was opened on October 5th, 1955. Yes, 55. Just a few months after the park opened in July of 1955.
It is very special, and it is full of like I love vintage Disney, and I love all things like antiques and like history and stuff. And there's like a hidden wall in here. It's not super hidden, but you have to.
I was gonna say it's not hidden.
You have to. It's not in the main lobby. You have to like
No,
go around
great.
some corners and walk around. But it's full of like all this Disneyland history and like memorabilia and things from the last 50 plus years.
Yes. Yeah. And, and they have tons of pictures. One of the things that I love about Riviera is because it has so much stuff so many nods to Walt Disney. And this Disneyland hotel is just above and beyond. Like it has all types of pictures and like Krystle was saying, memorabilia. It has tons of pictures of Walt doing his thing. And of course they're all like in black and white. So it's super nostalgic. Yeah, it's the best.
Well, and the fact that he was there. This was a part of like Walt's doing. This was not after he died. Like,
yeah,
that's pretty special.
Yes, I agree.
So the Disneyland Hotel offers a mix of rooms and suites, each designed with unique Disney touches, modern amenities, and various themed elements. The hotel has 3 main towers. You have the Fantasy Tower, the Adventure Tower, and the Frontier Tower. Each provides a little bit different of an atmosphere. And then just in the last year, they added a new DVC tower that is known as the Discovery Tower. So that is a little bit different in booking and amenities. And we will talk about that.
Yeah, it has its own kind of separate space, but it's still included. It's still part of the hotel overall. It's basically now it's like a square. Like there's 4 sides. Each tower is kind of a side of a square.
And then they kind of all look down onto the pool and Trader Sam's.
In the rooms, at least, we stayed when we were there, we stayed in just the standard 2 queen room. And they have lots of basically it's not lots of nods to Disney nostalgia and Disneyland nostalgia. Pictures of Walt, Mickey, the pillows, have a dream is a wish your heart makes when you're fast asleep. They have a pillow in each room that says that. Yeah.
The headboard is my favorite.
I was in heaven. Oh yes, duh. I can't believe I didn't say the headboard. Yeah, the headboard.
So there's are they stars or are they dots of like the castle? And then you hit a button and they all light up and Tink flies and they kind of all shimmer and it plays a song. And it's very Disney magic.
It is very Disney magic.
When we stayed here, I don't know what it was considered, but we were in a 2 queen room, my husband and my 2 children. And then the connecting door opened and it was like a sofa and a TV and like a little kitchenette because that sofa folded out and my brother slept there. And then there was another room that was a king, I believe. So we kind of, with all the connecting doors, made it like a big suite, which was very nice. I think most of the rooms we'll talk about today, they all kind of have that option on property, which is different than Disney World.
Yeah. So speaking of the rooms, they have the standard room, and then they have the 1-bedroom suite, and then they have a couple of signature suites. They have the Kingdom Club suite, the Dream suite, and then they have a Princess and a Pirate suite. And of course, they do have club level as well.
Let's jump into the dining. There are a couple of different options in the hotel for dining. You have Goofy's Kitchen, which is character dining, and this is in the Fantasy Tower, kind of in the main area. This is buffet style, American style, with breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You can get your pancakes, scrambled eggs, Mickey-shaped waffles. You will meet Goofy and other Disney characters such as Minnie, Chip, and Dell. That's always subject to change. And recently, they've been doing different outfits. They were doing a fall one while I was there. They were all in their Halloween costumes, and I saw that they're doing some sort of Christmas one.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they're trying to change things up for each of the different seasons.
So you do need reservations for this. And then the next one, Julie, you want to take Trader Sam's?
Yes. I think Trader Sam's has kind of its own cult following, right?
Yes.
Trader Sam's.
Well, and there is like a whole story about how this is the Trader Sam with the Jungle Cruise and how it's there. He's a different guy for Disney World. Like there's a whole backstory, guys. Like if you want to do some digging, there's some interesting info.
But this is something that people, it is difficult. It can be difficult to get a reservation because it's very small. It's a small space, but people love to get these reservations. So if you are lucky enough to get a reservation, you're kind of like in a really historical place, I would say. I mean, from a Disneyland perspective.
For sure.
But it has, as you would expect from a tiki bar, it has, tiki cocktails, mocktails, and it also has, it's mostly, tropical themed drinks. And then it also has some light snacks that you can get while you're there, kind of bar food-ish type stuff.
So this is kind of like, to get to it, it's almost like an island in the middle of all the towers by the pool. I found myself like outside and I was like, how did I just get here? Because it's like all these vegetation and you're like going on this bridge open around the pool.
Yes. And that's why it's also like, it's very small because it's in that little, it's like compacted into that little space.
Yes. Then there is also the Disneyland Hotel coffee carts. This is also near the pool. Just your casual coffee and snack stand, pastries, light breakfast items. Great stop for a quick caffeine fix on your way to rope drop.
You can also go to the Starbucks that's in downtown Disney, but
Very true.
This is an option as well. And then they also have room service, basically your typical room service that's available 24/7, depending on, just like with pretty much any hotel, it depends on the time. Certain times are going to have a limited menu, but they still have something available 24/7.
Like we talked about the pool. So it's called the e-ticket pool. Back when Disneyland first opened, each ride had like a certain ranking, I guess. Yeah. So that's where the e-ticket is like the top ticket. So that's where that comes from. So this is, like we said, in the middle of all the towers. Then you have the monorail pool, which is where the monorail water slide.
When I think of having separate pools at the Disney World resort, they're separate. Like they're not, these pools all kind of are right next to each other. So even though they technically are separate, you're right on top.
It's all in the same complex. Yeah.
Like all in the same space. Exactly. So
that's why I was having trouble with, because I was like, wait, it's all right there.
It is.
There's no room for another pool anywhere else.
Yeah. So they technically have the different names to them, but they're all in one space. And it's very easy to get from one to the other, and go back and forth. The pool closer to the Frontier Tower, it has replicas of the orange and yellow monorails, and the orange slide is the longer slide that's 25 feet high and 180 feet long. And then the yellow one is for maybe someone that doesn't feel as brave. It's 13 feet high and 80 feet long. My girls went on both of these like 100 times.
And just as a reminder, at all Disney property pools, they do provide life jackets, which is a lifesaver for littles. They also have cabanas. These are an additional fee and we need to reserve them, but you could do like a half day or a full day. And cabanas include lounge chairs, love seat, coffee table, sofa, TV, a fan, safe, a radio, a telephone for internal resort calls, a mini fridge with a few complimentary water bottles, complimentary fruit platter, and towel service.
Yeah, these things are pretty swanky.
Cabanas are for up to 6 people, but parties or 7 or more may book an additional cabana if available. So you can have like 2 next to each other, which would be a party.
From recreational type things and just entertainment in general, some similar things that we mentioned with Disney World, they do have movie screenings. They also have poolside games throughout the day. There's also, depending on which hotel, they have different types of crafts or activities or games. And you just look for the schedule at the hotel while you're there. It's not always the same. There's typically a board up that gives you all of those activities that lets you know. You're going to have shopping and sometimes some live entertainment at Downtown Disney District, which is walking distance. All of these hotels are easy walking distance to the parks and Downtown Disney. They also have seasonal events. Sometimes they have scavenger hunts at the hotels. And then, of course, we just talked about the Trader Sam's Enchanted Tiki Bar. There's always going to be something fun there if you can get a reservation or be able to get in there.
I guess it would be kind of helpful if we were to kind of give you an idea of how Disneyland is set up. I know we've talked about it on previous episodes, but Disneyland is in the middle of basically neighborhood in Anaheim. It's kind of set between like 2 blocks, and all of the Disney hotels are on, if you're looking at a map, on the left side of the theme parks. So that would be west side. And then you have the Disneyland Resort is on the north and California Adventures on the south in the middle. And then later we'll talk about how a couple of the other hotels are across the street of Harbor on the right. Does that make any sense?
No. I know what it looks like and I'm lost. I'm confused.
Basically, Disneyland and California Adventure in the middle. And then on your left-hand side, if you're looking down at a map, are the Disneyland hotels. And then most of your other ones are on the opposite side.
That made more sense.
Okay. It's kind of hard when you're just like throwing them all out there, but they're all pretty close.
They're all right. They're all like right next to each other on top of it. Yeah. Anytime you throw in like northwest, east, any of that stuff, I'm like, my eyes glaze over. I'm like, no, that doesn't help me.
Sorry.
I think it's funny. So Disneyland Hotel does have a fitness center. And then you also have, to get to Disneyland and Disney California Adventure, you can just walk or you can take the monorail, either one. It's really not far regardless. It's just kind of fun to ride the monorail because it was the original monorail.
And you'll walk right out and you walk underneath the giant Sorcerer Mickey hat and then go through security. And then you're like in the downtown Disney district. This hotel is part of it's kind of like a convention center. So it is kind of big and spread out.
Yes, true. Because it was originally, the original concept from Walt Disney was, I mean, this was in the 50s, so you have to remember, but to allow families to be able to come, like basically the wife and kids to be able to come along with dad as dad worked. And so it has that convention center. It had that there from the very beginning because that was the thought process.
Yes. So there are a couple of like, each tower has its own little like gift shop, sundries in case you forget something. So when I was just there, I took a couple hours and went and walked around the Disney hotels. And as soon as you walk in, you get the smells and you get everybody greeting you, and it's just so grand. And you see like the Mickey and Minnie's in the shop, and it just felt so much more magical.
It is a very magical place for sure. And one of the things I would say, I mean, before we're obviously going to talk about the other hotels, but I would say probably Disneyland hotel is maybe like a moderate on the same level, maybe, do you think? Or between a moderate and deluxe?
I would say it's between a moderate or deluxe. Pricing wise, your Grand Californian is going to be the most, and then Disneyland, and then Pixar Place. But I would say Pigstar is still like on the little level of like moderates at Walt
Mhm.
Disney World. But recently, since Pixar is so new, we'll talk about this, it hasn't been available for promotions. So Disneyland has actually been pricing better.
Yeah.
Not the DVC Tower section,
And
but
that was kind of what I was going to bring up is like I feel like the DVC Tower portion is probably more on the deluxe level.
yes, for sure. So let's talk about that.
So this new DVC Tower was built and it just opened, I believe, in early 2024. So this is very recent. I mean, when we were there last year in April, they were still building the tower. It was there, but it was still being built. And they have, similar to other DVC properties, they have the studio that sleeps up to 4 guests. And then you have your 1 bedroom that sleeps 4 to 5. It just gives you that extra space, really. It just gives you the ability to have that separate bedroom. And then the 2-bedroom villa sleeps 6 to 8. And then they have grand villas that sleep up to 12. Once you get into the larger villas, you're also going to be getting a kitchen, you get a washer dryer, you get more than 1 bathroom. That's basically after the studio. The studio doesn't have the washer dryer and it just has a kitchenette.
But still, to have all that extra like amenities,
Oh, yeah.
it's worth the extra cost if you're going to be there for a while. The artwork for these is beautiful. Like inside, they have like a mural of Moana. I feel like it's very, is it Mary Blair? Is that who it was inspired by? She's the one that did the big mural in the contemporary and stuff like Mall World, and it's in her like style.
It's very unique. It's very obvious when you see it that that's her anytime you see
Mhm.
something in that style.
As far as dining, they do have the Palm Breeze bar that is poolside, and it's like your lunch and dinner, like California diner style food. They do offer vegetarian, California, or American type cuisines. A lot of it is outside, but there are inside portions of it. It's very cute.
They do have their own, in addition to the pools that we talked about, they do have their own little pool area that's basically on the other side of the tower. And
Yes,
that includes a Steamboat Willie splash pad, which is brand new.
it is adorable.
It's very, very, very cute.
And he's like life size.
Yeah, he's big. He's very cute. It also looks like they have a members only lounge. I definitely want to get out there and use our points on a tower villa because I loved when we stayed there before and we missed out. We booked too late to do the Grand Californian, so I would love to stay in this tower.
So just because it's also DVC, if you don't have DVC points like you can still pay cash and stay there. I think a lot of people get confused when we talk about it because it is open to everybody. They just get advanced part. Next, let's go take the monorail. Actually, don't take the monorail because you'll pass it. But if we walk down,
I was like, I don't think does it go through there? I mean,
no,
it does, but not that station doesn't go through there.
you walk through downtown Disney, the Grand California Hotel and Spa is the next one. And like we were mentioning earlier, this is like the deluxe of deluxe. It is very wilderness lodge type vibes. It's very like Sequoia National Park, California, as the name would suggest. It is beautiful. It is grand, as the name suggests.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say the most unique feature is this hotel has its own entrance and own security into California Adventure. I was literally in the lobby of this hotel and through security and into the park in less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's really fun. We did this too. We went through there to get in and out. It's right
Um,
across from what puts you out right across from the what is it? The Grizzly,
Grizzly River Rapids ride.
which is basically Cali River Rapids, but with grizzlies instead.
So it typically accommodates up to 4 guests, but they do have a couple of fifth sleeper rooms with the like fold down little bit like the child bed, like the moderates do. The design features rich arts and crafts inspired decor with warm wood tones, stone accents, and touches of Disney characters and artwork like Thumper and Bambi. Your room configurations like a one or two queen beds, a king bed with a sofa bed in some rooms. You have views of the park, and there are lots of like suite options. If you need like a big family, you have like 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, signature suites, presidential suites, and then you have like your massive theme suites. And there's also club level here as well. And their club level is unique because you have like special viewing of fireworks and world color at night.
They also have a DVC section to this resort as well.
I don't think I realized that.
I believe, I mean, it was the only DVC option in California until they built the tower.
True.
From the dining perspective, they have several options. They have Napa Rose, which is in the main lobby area. As it indicates, it's Californian cuisine and it's known for its wine list. It's a very bougie restaurant. This is not a place where you would want to wear your park clothes for sure. You would want it's more of a sophisticated atmosphere. And then they have the open kitchen concept where you can kind of see as they're preparing your meals, you have the ability to see that happening.
You also have the Storytellers Cafe, which is also character dining. This is kind of near the lobby by the pool. It's a buffet style dining with characters. You typically have Mickey, Chip and Dale, and maybe Pluto. I'm drawing a blank on who the fourth one is, but Chip and Dale for sure. And they usually wear like their adventure outfits similar to what you'd see in Animal Kingdom. And recently, they've also been doing the fall. Mickey had on the cutest little beanie and like flannel for fall.
Oh
It
my
was
gosh.
adorable. And I think they're doing winter versions as well. So this is breakfast and dinner buffets
Oh my gosh,
there.
this is making me want to go to Disneyland so bad now. I'm like talking about all this. Okay. They also have the GCH Craftsman Bar and Grill. It is the poolside area near the entrance to Disney California Adventure. It's casual dining and bar food. So it's definitely more laid back with things like burgers, salad, sandwiches, and craft beers.
Adjacent to that is the coffee house, which you can get your Starbucks. This is the Starbucks location. Your pastries, snacks. They also have some very cute holiday themed, every holiday, like stuff in there.
Mm-hmm. Always have to have the merch out. And just like with Disneyland Hotel, they do have room service that's available around the clock.
All right. So this is similar to like Disneyland, that all their pools are kind of clumped together. The Redwood pool has a water slide. You're like sliding out of a redwood tree. And then you have the fountain pool, which is like you're perfect for family swimming and surrounded by the landscape. And it has like a waterfall coming into it. And then you have the Mariposa pool, which is also right there, but it's more like a relaxing, serene water features. And then there is like a hot tub a couple of little hot tubs sprinkled in there.
And you also have cabanas that you can rent for a half day or full day, just like with the Disneyland Hotel. It is at the Redwood Pool area, and you have the ability to fit up to 6 people into one cabana.
As far as entertainment and amenities, like we talked about, you have the exclusive park access, which is very unique to this hotel. There are a couple of areas you can see fireworks if you are in the right room, or certain areas around the pool. They do have like arts and crafts around the pool, like they all do. And then in the evenings, you have the Hearthstone Lounge. They offer live music and a relaxing ambiance. They also have a piano player in the lobby who is usually playing Disney music. It was like classic Disney songs, but in like a very serene arrangement.
Yeah, they're more chill.
Yes.
You also have the Tenaya Stone Spa that offers full service spa experiences. Obviously, this is at an additional cost, but they have the massages, facials, body treatments, etc. Also with a sauna and hot tubs available. It sounds amazing.
We need to do a spa research, I feel like, of all the Disney spas.
We need to do in-person research and content. Put that on John's list. I'll put it on Rob's.
The next one is the Pixar Place Hotel. This was previously known as the Paradise Pier Hotel, but they took it down the studs and totally redone it, rethemed, reimagined. I was just in here and it is very cute and it's Pixar theme, like the name would suggest. And it is so cute and family friendly and colorful and just vibrant.
It's a very happy place. I mean, I think you just walk in and all of the colors just make it's a happy feeling.
Yes. So you do have your standard rooms. Most can accommodate 4. They do have the option of like a 5th sleeper in some of them. And each of the rooms has a Pixar lamp in the room. Like the details. The rooms are very like bright blues and reds and yellows, like you would expect for like they each have like the Pixar ball pillow. So it's very cute. And you can see like views of California Adventure. They also do have a couple of suites that can accommodate up to 6 to 8 people, like a 1-bedroom, and then a Toy Story or Monsters Inc. Pixar themed suites, and also larger signature suites.
Oh my gosh, I have to take my child and get a Monsters Inc. suite. She would be so excited.
Adorable, huh? So one thing that most people don't realize about this hotel is it has its own entrance into the backside of California Adventure. So you kind of come out over there by, like on the pier by Inside Out. There's Inside Out, Goofy Sky School, like over there in the corner. That is very special for this hotel.
FYI, Goofy's flight school is Goofy trying to kill you. So don't do it. Just a PSA. Goofy, PSA. He is not on your side with his flight school.
No, he's not. All right. Dining. You have the Great Maple Modern American Eatery. This is like it's like a full service restaurant in the hotel. You also have the Sketchpad Cafe, which is more just like your quick service. They have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, casual dining. It's kind of near the lobby. And then you have the Small Bites. This is like your poolside quick service, breakfast, casual dining, lunch, dinner, nibbles, light bites.
The pools at Pixar Place, those were all basically completely redone as well. And they have a 186-foot long Crushes surf and slide.
It is adorable. So, side note, all these are like on the rooftop. It's like there's like two buildings and it's like one building is rooftop, like on the fourth floor. So it is very neat to like go out there by the slide and see it all.
Oh, that's so fun. They also have a splash pad that is Nemo's Cove. So obviously these two areas are themed around Finding Nemo. They also do have, as with the other two, they have cabanas for rent. Something else that they have that they do not have at the other hotels are day beds. So this is just a new addition. It's a smaller space, so it has a maximum of 4 people that you would use. But it's a shaded daybed seating with 4 complimentary bottles of water and towel service.
As part of like the pool area, there is also like lawn games,
Mhm.
like cornhole. They might have had like bocce ball going when I was out there. I think there was like a giant Connect Four,
So fun.
just like giant like games. So it's a good place to just let the kids go run off some steam. There was like a fire pit and like a covered area that I'm sure that they do s'mores at night. This hotel does have a very fun little gift shop. And in the gift shop, they hide Forky every day and you can go find him like a scavenger hunt. And when you find him and tell the workers, they will give you a special little sticker. So keep your eyes peeled for that. You also have the option or opportunity to see Bing Bong in the lobby area. And Joe Gardner from Seoul also makes appearances playing the piano once in a while.
That's so neat. I definitely have to get back out there. Mom and Dad, we need to go.
The detail is so fun. In the tile, they have like all the different Pixar characters, like Lightning McQueen and Luca, and
Mhm.
they took some. They did really well with the details. They took their time on it.
And this hotel, just like with the other two, has similar, because of the location, it has similar proximity to downtown Disney. It also has where you, depending on like where you are on the property, you can see the fireworks or the nighttime shows because they're so close. You would be able to see definitely the Disney California Adventure side.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about some good neighbor options. And we've chatted before how Disneyland is unique in the aspect that with there only being 3.5 on-site hotels, it's very easy to stay in a non-Disney hotel. And I would say that there are a handful that have something special or unique about them, but most are just your standard run-of-the-mill hotel, your standard 2 double beds, nothing special about them except the proximity. And I would say that the biggest reason I see people choosing those is just the price. You do pay a premium for Disneyland hotels, but you do also receive early entry with the Disneyland hotels. And just like I said earlier, it's like that, just that magic. You don't feel that at the other ones. Not always, but most of the time you can find a better price, but it's worth bundling them with your tickets so then you can take advantage of like the Disney's $200 deposit and cancellation policy. So just because it's a Best Western doesn't mean we can't bundle it with tickets.
Yeah. And a lot of them do have some pretty nice pool and like water play type areas. It's, it may not be on the same level, but they do have some cool things.
Yes. So I do want to point out, because I get asked all the time, just because it's like a Marriott or a Best Western, there are only a handful of the dozens of hotels around that offer breakfast. So, like, I can find it if you want it, but don't expect that. It's not, they don't like to offer that. And then they do also all include like a $30 to $50 a night parking fee. So if you're driving in, that's quite a hefty hit. And then I also like to tell people because so I have a lot of people who like to travel to Disneyland, and when I'm quoting them prices, I like to stay within like half a mile. Anything farther out, I get kind of like a little iffy, but they do have the ART, which is the Anaheim bus system. Most hotels will even suggest it, and they'll have a stop outside the hotel, and then they'll drop you off at the gates of Disneyland. And they have like a whole little app that you can pay and see times, and it's only a couple bucks. So some of my favorites, and this is going from north to south because Julie knows that. But these are going down Harbor Boulevard, which is the street across the street from the Disneyland. So first up, you have the Howard Johnson Hotel and Water Playground. This is where we just stayed, and this hotel has been here for years, but they are actively like trying to update everything. But you do pay for the upgrades. The older rooms are cheaper, but so there's two room categories. You have a standard, which is two double beds. They're small. And then you have the deluxe queen, but the deluxe rooms are the new ones, and you do actually get a queen. So if you can swing the price difference, go for the deluxe. They do have a really nice little water park with a toddler pool. They have some small slides. There's like the play structure with the big dump bucket, and then there is a hot tub, and then there is like a quiet pool if you don't want to be around the kids running and screaming.
Why would you not want to be around kids running around and screaming?
Well, that's so I didn't even realize it was there. And then someone was like, oh, yeah, there's another pool over here. So I guess if you want to go like swim laps, because the water, like the little kid area, there's not really like a lap pool per se. They do have a little market in case you forgot anything. And then, like I said, all the common areas are like newly renovated and updated. I was going through my pictures just to get an idea of timestamps of how long it took us to walk. I have a picture of a Mickey Pumpkin on Main Street at 4:48 p.m. and I have a picture back at the hotel at 4:58. So that means it's less than a 10-minute walk to get from inside the park to your hotel room, which is, I'd say it's pretty good. The next one, just next to that, is the Courtyard by Mary Anaheim theme park entrance. And I would say this is one of my favorites. It's special because it offers two queen beds and one bunk bed. So you can fit like if you have a lot of kids, and then their water park is very nice. I work with a lot of families who have 5 or 6 kids. So this is where we send most of them. The water park, you do have your swimming pool. They say 6 water slides, children's play area, and a whirlpool spa. And the next to that, you do have the Fairfield Inn by Marriott Anaheim Resort. It's very clean. You know what you're getting yourself into with Marriott. That's about all I have to say. Next, you have 2 Best Westerns. The Best Western Plus is the closest that you can get. It's literally across the street from the gates. But these have probably not been updated in 15 years. So just go into it knowing that. The next one I like to suggest is the Anaheim Portofino Inn and Suites. This is on the other side of Catella. So Harbor and Catella make a T. Catella is south of California Adventure, so it is quite a bit of a hike. It's like 3/4 of a mile or like a 15-minute walk. But they do offer family suites with bunk beds as well.
Yeah, I don't think that's too bad. I don't think a 15-minute walk is that bad, you know?
No. Guess it just depends on the lights were the biggest issue because you hit a lot of lights and they're long.
Oh, because you have to cross the street.
There's a lot of street crossing. Yes.
Got it.
And then the other one, if you're looking for like a superior, super deluxe hotel, I'd suggest the Westin Anaheim Resort. Where it's located, it's almost the same distance to go through the downtown Disney, like the Disneyland hotel entrance, instead of going clear around to the main gate. I'm using hand signals, but you guys can't see that.
They're very effective.
Oh, yes. Either way, it's about a 20-ish minute walk or a little over a mile, but it is probably one of the nicest hotels in the area, not on property.
But is it cheaper than staying? I mean, is it comparable in price? Because
yes and no. They do like to offer like a fifth night free.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
So it is. So I guess the easiest way to say it is the closer in proximity you are to the main gate, the higher you'll pay in a premium. The farther you get out, the cheaper it gets. So even though this is one of the nicer hotels, it is pretty comparable to like the Courtyard Marriott
It's a mile away.
because it's a mile away. So I guess it just depends on how far you want to walk or if you want to deal with the art, which is the public transportation, but then you have to break down a stroller. Or I did Uber around a little bit. There's Uber, but it depends on if you have little kids and how much you want to deal with that. And you all know my thoughts on breaking down my stroller.
Yeah. Well, I don't like strollers at all. Like I went one trip with a stroller, and after that I was like, these kids are walking. So at least Krystle still brings her stroller. I cut it out. I cut the kids off from a stroller after the first trip.
Listen, no one has enough time and energy to listen to my kids complain about their tired legs for 4 days straight. So it's worth the sanity.
You also have Reese is little. Like
Yes,
and my
she's only
girls
2.
were my girls were almost 4 and 6 the first time that we went. And that's when we had the stroller. And then the second time that we went, they were almost 6. And were they almost 6 and 8? I don't remember. But they were, a little bit older than.
Yes. So it's Calder's my 8-year-old, and I don't think he's done a stroller any of our most recent trips. He did it when our first trip to Disneyland with him, but he hasn't done any since. Harper's just my whiner, and she's 5, so
she's probably at that age where she's like getting to a point where she probably doesn't have to have it, but she kind of, I kind of skipped over that step,
Mm-hmm.
By the time I went back, they were kind of past, both of them were kind of past that. So
Yes.
I got lucky in that regard because we were not fans of the stroller.
Well, if
down the stroller.
Yes, that's the biggest part. If you do have littles, though, Disneyland is currently running a $50 per day ticket through about March. So it's a good time to go if you have one under the age of 10.
Well, I think that's about all that we have. Although I think that was probably, we covered a lot. If anything, I think this just made me want to go to Disneyland again. So I'm gonna have to start looking at dates. Like, when can I get back out there? It really is just so special because of it being that original park, and it's just a completely different experience than Walt Disney
Yes.
World.
And like we've said in other episodes, since it is all more like compact, it's so much easier to do it 2 or 3 days in the park. So it's 4, 5 days total. So 1, it's cheaper. 2, it's a lot easier to do and not have to deal with all the advanced selections, all the dining selections, like all those little things that people at Walt Disney World are used to.
Yeah, it's easier to hop back and forth too because you just walk across. You're just walking like 100 feet or whatever it is. It's something crazy like that. So
yes,
you're able to go back and forth a lot easier. That also helps with only needing the 2 to 3 days because if you were hopping back and forth across the 4 parks at Disney World, that takes up so much of your time. It really eats up your time, and it's just not as significant at Disneyland and Disney California Adventure.
Do it now before they add all the rest in it. It changes and complicates things.
When are they adding stuff? They are going to add stuff, aren't they?
They are going to add stuff, but I think it's going to be a minute. The city council did approve it all, though. So who knows? I think they're going to have to move some hotels and parking lots to make it work because there's no room. Like, it's landlocked.
Yeah, everything's built around it. And I mean, I think we talked about when we were comparing Disneyland and Disney World that the entirety of Disneyland and Disney California Adventure, like I think the entire like resort area can fit into
it's like the parking lot at Magic Kingdom. Yeah.
It's crazy. It really is. That's just such a crazy thing. But anyway, We hope that you enjoyed our episode talking through Disneyland hotels, and please reach out to us if you're looking to take a trip out there, or if you're not on the East Coast like we are and you're close by. Obviously, it's not going to be over there, out there, but if you're looking for a trip to Disneyland, please reach out. We'd love to help you. We hope you have a great week. Talk to you next week. Bye. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Wanderlust and Wishes.
If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform.
And remember, the world is full of wonders waiting to be explored. Until next time, happy travels.
Bye for now.